Charlotte is an original supernatural comedy drama series written by key writer Jun Maeda. It's also the name of the second largest city in North Carolina. But I guess that's not particularly relevant. The series was produced by PA Works, known for their animation work on Angel Beats, Shirobako, and Nagi no Asakara. But without further ado, I present the anime review of Charlotte. Charlotte's Web is a lovely film about a pig and a spider. But Charlotte is an anime series following Yu Otazaka as he must learn to use his powers to do things other than be a massive cock. On the press release, it's not an overly interesting premise, but by starting us off with our main character, it supplies a driving force for subsequent episodes as he's forced into the student council of another school. Although, unlike most series that present themselves like a three-course meal, the waiter appears to have gotten this order a little mixed up. And in this respect, Charlotte is certainly inconsistent. But it is inconsistent in a kind of lovable way, and everything is foreshadowed in some way or form. It's just the sort of foreshadowing that nobody else would have dared put in motion, since the storyline is ridiculously ambitious within itself. There's various plots running alongside each other, taking turns at being the prevalent narrative. Although despite what should play out like an elementary school choir, with different plot points begging for attention, they do all work to support one core character story. You will not escape Charlotte without loving, hating, and most importantly, sympathising with our protagonist Yu Otazaka. But that does not excuse various structural issues that it devolves into later on within the show. Having a fast-paced plot is fine, and Charlotte actually plays into it really well, not skipping over details or calling back to anything that was at all rushed. It doesn't lose the viewer at any point, and whilst many fans would have been more comfortable with something slower, it doesn't suffer from any of the more glaring issues. But Charlotte, which is the name of a makeup company but also a structurally absurd anime series, fails to connect its plot points outside of their connection to the protagonist. I absolutely loved the core of the series, following the student council as they play Professor X and try to find rogue ability users. With a strong emphasis on the comedy side of things, these smaller independent stories were presented confidently and the character dynamics bounced off each other strongly as the cast came together steadily. But this isn't the plotline that was used to develop a climax, instead firing towards the "we must fix everything" narrative. And to put it lightly, it's nonsense. Adventuring around the world, hostage situations, secret underground societies. Yeah, Charlotte was having fun in a playground, only to suddenly remember that its narrative goal was at the graveyard. And it involves so many nonsensical plot devices in its strange attempt to tie it all together that they might as well be connected with duct tape. It would have been totally fine had it not polished this jewel of a plot, only to discard it for a big rock. This isn't to say that the nonsensical ending is at all rubbish. Honestly, the last episode was a goddamn blast. But it wasn't the sort of ending that reflected on the series as a whole, and its attempt at a deceptive narrative was certainly misplaced. Charlotte is a WWE wrestler who earned the title of NXT Women's Champion. It's also a series that introduces a wide cast of characters within its narratives. With Tomori, Misa and Takajo, Charlotte strives. With an incredible mix between comedy and lighter dramatic moments, it propels beyond what many other shows try so desperately to achieve. But Charlotte, which is the name of a cafe in Sydney that serves a special Charlotte burger which involves double meat, double cheese and pickle mustard. I'm not sure where I was going with this. Charlotte, as I mentioned, is very eager to pull its core acts and core narrative apart, and for some goddamn reason decided that this should be the same for the characters. This is my largest issue with Charlotte. It goes from establishing a core cast with their own cool little side jokes and charming moments to a cast that is introduced, developed and enforced just within the very latter part of the series. And the team that we spent time with before have become little more than Facebook friends. Although we do stick with our protagonist Yu Otazaka, of course, but he lacks the character dynamics from before. We go from enjoying life through his eyes to taking a perspective well away from him. It's powerful, sure, and does offer opportunities for good screenwriting, which Charlotte does deliver on at points, but it still plays out in a way that is incredibly jarring. With strong use of lighting, beautiful background art, and moments that genuinely stand out as a spectacle, PA Works once again demonstrates that their art direction team has no match. This time with background art veteran Kazuki Higashiji taking the role of art director. And guess what? This brilliant art moves as well. With various moments throughout that could be regarded as exemplary, Charlotte definitely seems to be entranced with the idea of impact, making sure that each and every motion is standout in its own right. For the sake of clarity, let's walk through a cool scene from the first episode. Here, Yu is being chased by Takajo, who has the power of super speed. So, starting up, he gets ready to run with these smaller movements with a dust cloud in the background. Then, with great impact, the show uses a combination of smears and effects animation to give the impression that he's shooting off at high speeds despite the tight frame. Then, and I love this bit, we go to a POV shot using a 3D background going straight to the moment where he grabs Yu. He flies up into the air, leaving a contrail for comedic effect, and the show actually throws in a focus shift, and then they ended up frame blending because water effects are a fucking nightmare. Point is, Charlotte, which is the name of the Princess of Cambridge, but also an anime series, employs so many tactics to amplify what is just good animation and takes it to a level where it can be regarded as exemplary due to specific creative choices. Oh, and do I even need to talk about the music? It's Jun Maeda, of course. It's fucking fantastic. Charlotte is a lot of things. It's a city, a makeup company, a wrestler, a cafe, a story about a student council, a story about supernatural powers, and a story about loss. Whilst the large majority of the episodes do stand tall independently, Charlotte as a whole gets mixed up within all of these different plot directions and fails to become something brilliant. It's alright, and it does offer one hell of a wild ride as far as the narrative is concerned, but this lack of consistency stops viewers from being able to enjoy it as a full package. It's still definitely worth watching though, as there are certainly brilliant moments within it that I wouldn't miss for the world. Thanks for watching The Caliper Effect. Next time we'll be looking at a crisis in a classroom. It's a review of Classroom Crisis.